Hello everybody, Smokity Smokes here. Going to be doing a pipe review on this Capri Warlock Churchwarden pipe, number 1. And also number 2 and 3. I did a review on the number 2, which is very similar to this one, except the bowl shape is more of just like a... I don't even know what to call it. I guess you would call it a Dublin, but it's not nearly as flared out as this one. This is a straight up Dublin bowl shape on the Capri Churchwarden Warlock 1, that's what I would call it, a Dublin. And the second one, it's just more of like a skinny Dublin. I guess you could also say it's a Dublin, but this is a lot more distinct looking, so. And then the Churchwarden 3, the Warlock 3 anyway, it's the same as the 2, except the stem is more straight, not bent. But it comes with this sock right here, which is really nice. It's a black sock, says Capri on it. Whatever, it's pretty nice. It's a sub $100 pipe, and it's Churchwarden, so that's pretty cool. The retail on it is like, what is it? Just $74.95. 75 bucks is a retail. So you're always going to pay less than that wherever you find it. They're fairly difficult to find, which is a little annoying. You can really only find them realistically on pipesandcigars.com. I think one time they were about 45 bucks. And then recently I tried to get another one, and now they're like 65 bucks as of July 2014. So I guess the prices kind of changes, or depends on if they have a sale on it or not. So yeah, it can kind of range a little bit there, but I think it is worth it. It is a nice pipe for the money. Maybe a little expensive, you might say, probably, but let me go over some specs real fast. It is a Churchwarden, so it's a overly long pipe. So here is the Dr. Gerbeau freehand, which is a more normal pipe, and you can see fairly distinct difference. Very distinct difference, actually. So let's go over some specs. This one, I chose this one out of the other two this time because this one actually has the thickest bowl diameter, which means a slightly cooler smoke. Has a pipe length of 9.8 inches. The bowl inner diameter is 0.7 inches, and the outer diameter is 1.3 inches. The bowl height is 1.9 inches, and the bowl depth is 1.5 inches. Pipe weight, 1.3 ounces. The stem material is an acrylic. This is an acrylic stem right here, and then we have a briar wood, a rustic briar wood pipe right here. You can see it focuses. It's a very, very beautiful rustic job, and it actually has almost like a custom type feel to it. These rusticated finishes, because on this side you can see a distinct difference between the patterns. I like this rusticated pattern back here. It's much more, it's just bigger lines and such, I guess you could say. It's just cool looking. But rustic pipes, cool. They're slightly less hot, I guess you could say, than like a smooth pipe, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's just sort of like a texture thing. I like rustic pipes. You can only get these in rustic form. They do not sell them in smooth. They're not sitters, unfortunately. Either the 1 and 2 I know aren't. I don't think the 3 is either. I don't see why it would be if the other 2 aren't. Unfortunately, that's a really big downsizing thing. I wish it was a sitter. Not that it's really a huge deal, I guess. That's sort of a very distinct point here. The other 2 don't. The Capri Warlock 1 does have this point right here. I think it's really cool. It adds to the style. It has sort of like a Warlock-y feel to it because it's a deep jet black, but then you have this nice orange rim right here, which I think is really, really cool. And right here you can see it says Capri Warlock, made in Italy. Yes, it is an Italian-made pipe. I really like that orange rim there. It's such a nice touch. It's all black, then you have orange there. It's cool looking. It's like Halloween-y almost. Oops. Yeah, smokes just fine. You might get a little bit of gurgling with it. I did, because it is a bent pipe. That's something you can't really change. They might just have gurgling. But what else can I really say about it? It holds a decent amount of tobacco because it's a fairly deep pipe. Slightly less, I guess, than most. You can see it's a slightly smaller diameter than most normal pipes. Not that it's really a big deal. It's fairly light for its size. I like the bent pipes more than the straight ones, especially if it's a Churchwarden, because if it's straight, you kind of have to, like, to get the stem to reach your mouth, you have to sort of push your hand down lower. But when it's, up like this, it's more relaxed kind of feeling, I guess. You don't have to raise your hand over to your, like, mouth level, I guess you could say. That's one way to put it, I think. So it's a little bit nicer. That's why I prefer 1 and 2 over the third one, even though I've never had a third one. But yeah, so I guess that's all I could really say. That is the Capri Warlock 1 Churchwarden. Kind of hard to find, a little bit pricey sometimes, but if you really like Churchwardens, it's not that expensive. There's more expensive ones out there, and a lot of them aren't black and rustic and cool looking like this one is. So yeah, There it is. It's the one thing I also noticed is that the pipe, even though it has a thicker diameter than the other two, it smokes fairly hot a lot of the time. That's what I noticed with the second one. I think I did a review on the second one, but I said it didn't smoke hot. Well, after that review, pretty much every single tobacco that I tried after that smoked really, really hot in the bowl. You could barely hold it. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was my fault, but it's slightly thicker, so it's a little bit nicer, but occasionally it might get hot, so you just kind of like hold it like this. You don't have to completely clench it. Just kind of rest it in your hand. I think it'll be fine. I did, so just throwing it out there. Maybe it was my own fault. Maybe I packed it too tight. Maybe I smoked it too fast. It's probably my fault because I don't hear other people complaining, but you don't see many reviews on these. They're kind of difficult to find, but I think they're great Churchwardens. I think they're very cool looking, fairly affordable. Yeah, they're nice. So that is the Capri Churchwarden Warlock #1.